Jesse's up north in
Right.
Aotearoa, and the rest of us are down in Auckland. But
Are we?
Wellington.
Are we in Auckland?
Actually, Wellington.
yeah, can you edit that?
Yeah, edit it to repeat like 10 times.
Hi, my name's Will, and welcome to the Distorted Transmission for today. I'm talking to Wellington's Dark Divinity. How are you?
Good.
Terrible, it looks like.
No good. No good whatsoever.
Cool. We did the introductions. Let's start with Jesse.
Yeah, hey, I'm Jesse. I'm the vocalist.
And I'm Gigi. I play guitars.
I'm Paul. I also play guitar.
Ian on drums over here.
So, Gigi, I remember seeing you at the Napier Death Fest on stage. You're also in Scorner Creation, is that correct?
Yeah. I also play guitars for those guys for Scorn. Yeah.
I have noticed that like New Zealand's metal scene is quite incestuous, and everyone's thumbs in all the pies. It is quite common to see people who are in sort of other bands. Ian as well. Ian's in quite a few bands as well.
Yep.
I visited your WordPress website, and I was greeted with this blurb. Here we go. Dark Divinity scorches and salts the melodic death genre with their savagery. Infusing an icy atmosphere, black metal tremolos, and harsh vocal screeches, they forge a truly heavy melodious sound, uncommon in the metal world today. Bold and confident words.
That was ripped from a review that was done about us. So it's not our own words. That
Okay.
is stolen from someone who reviewed our EP, I think.
Well, to be honest, that's probably better than you running it yourself.
Yeah.
So, Ian, you formed the band, right? Can you give us a brief history? I know there's been a few member changes, so you don't need to like go into too much detail, but yeah.
Have you heard of the Outland Sessions project?
Yes.
It's like 12 musicians thrown into a room, and we all just kind of do whatever we want. I brought a Melodic Death type of track or a few riffs and a few lyrics to one of these things. Collaborated with Andy from Cripple Mr. Onion.
Andy Wood.
He threw a riff into that, and we ended up with a really cool track from that session that ended up spawning this band. Jake from Team Kill set the cycle, friend of Jesse's. He mixed the song, and it just ended up sounding so fucking cool that I was like, this probably has to be a band. Rounded up Paul, David on bass, and Reese on guitar, and Alan, who was in Destructotron at the time, on vocals, and turned it into a proper band.
What was the year that it all kicked off?
2017 was when we officially made that a band, but that song was recorded in 2016.
About 5 years down the track so far.
Hmm.
All right, cool. I've got a question for Jesse, because of course Jolene Tempest left the band around March last year, and Jesse joined officially in February this year, according to Facebook. I imagine that you had been jamming for quite some time, sort of behind the scenes with the band. But I was sort of wondering how is it filling in for like a vocalist that's left?
It's pretty cool, really. Actually, I quite enjoyed learning the songs that are already there. Quite like the style that Jolene was doing already. And then adding to a few new elements myself was real cool. Kind of added my own touch. It's been a fun process for sure. And Ian had written a whole bunch of other lyrics for new songs and stuff. So sort of just got to jump in and learn stuff first.
As you said, Ian wrote some lyrics too. So is it kind of like a shared responsibility?
It's becoming more of a shared responsibility, but Ian had written 99% of what was there already, I think.
Until Jesse joined, I'd written pretty much everything in the band, and now Jesse's kind of picked up the reins and, like, you know, for some of the new material just kind of followed on that style and, you know, putting out some really kick-ass shit for what we're doing. So I kind of starting to back off a bit and be like, sweet, he's got this kind of thing.
When new members join, does the sound of the band kind of change? Paul, answer that for me.
I think vocalist-wise, it always changes slightly just because of it's such an identifiable part of a metal band sound. Obviously, loved working with Reese, and he was a big part of the band early on. And then Gigi came in and brought his own style with guitar, bridging the gap between the stuff that Reese was doing, learning those songs, and then particularly on the new songs, putting his own stamp on things. Like particularly for me, writing riffs and then finding out what he can do. I think that's always a really exciting part of the process. And he's got a virtuoso side to him that I definitely can't do myself. So it's like it really heightens the songs. You know, obviously had 3 different vocalists, and they've all brought their own really cool thing to the table.
In terms of the riffing and the like melodic style of the band, I feel like it's had a common thread, definitely. But
Yeah.
I mean, when Gigi came into the band, the virtuosity factor just really fucking stepped up a couple of notches, to the point where, you know, we've got some incredible solos in our new music that just hadn't really been a part of our prior music. That's just really a breath of fresh air. And then with Jesse joining, his range is just massive, adding a whole nother factor to it.
You finally come to the time to release something more substantial. So let's talk about the forthcoming album, shall we? Anybody? Gigi, you wanna have a go?
From someone who's heard it the first time when I joined the band, it really felt fresh listening to these new Dark Divinity songs. Not sure if I answered your question, but yeah.
That's all good. Jess, did you write the vocals for the upcoming album, or were there a few tracks overlapping from when Jolene was in the band?
Yeah, there's quite a few. I think I did vocals on 2 or 3 of the songs, and then the rest were pre-existing. There's been a bit of collaboration too between Ian and I on some of those parts.
Ian, I guess you're kind of like the nucleus of the band, if you will.
Band leader.
The band leader. Okay, just with a little baton, you know, like marching down the street. All right, so so maybe you can give me some more in-depth information about the recording process of it, because I believe that you were involved in that heavily, in fact, probably exclusively.
Where Outland Sessions, the collaboration project that I've been kind of running for the last 10 years, that happens at a abandoned hospital in Pahiatua. So normally we go out with 20 or so musicians and kind of have the run of the place and just write and record whatever the fuck we want. But this is the first time that I've gone in there into that space with the intention of recording something in particular. So me, Gigi, and Paul went in there in November, and we tracked the drums for the whole album and refined some of the guitar parts and kind of worked on that. So yeah, that was in Pahiatua in an old kind of abandoned / haunted hospital. Paul, do you want to talk a bit about the neural DSPs that we're using to record the album?
Neural DSP plugins for the guitars and the bass, and it kind of just gives us a lot of freedom to track wherever we want.
There's not actually any amps on this album. It's
Amp
all
modeling. Okay.
All very fake, but real sounding.
Sounds great.
And Jesse is mixing.
Jesse's mixing.
Yeah, Jesse's mixing the album.
Kind of been thrown in the deep end there. I started getting into doing a bit of production only in the last 6 months, and I kind of did a preliminary mix once we've done all the tracking, and these guys are like,
sounds better than the EP. Why don't you try doing the whole thing?
Yeah, we've just been plugging away at that. It's been pretty cool.
And you were kind of doing the recording and the drumming at the same time. Did you find it was difficult doing that, or did you have Jesse on hand to help?
No, I've done that by myself for a long time. I mean, like, you know, just with a Bluetooth mouse, I can get some distance, and like, you know, I've just got a little table set up next to my drum kit and just click record and keep it looping for like 10 takes and just fucking go at it. And like, sweet, got enough here, I'll go and edit it and have a listen and whatnot. But yeah, just spent like about 5 days doing that. And yeah, no, I'm pretty used to engineering myself, so I was pretty comfortable doing that.
Everyone in the band is pretty used to like recording themselves, working together in that way as well.
everybody's pretty used to recording remotely. Jesse's up in Otorohanga and the rest of us is down in Wellington. Gigi and Paul have got bedroom
Right.
recording setups that they can hook into. Jesse's got an amazing studio that you can see in the background there, where you can track his vocal demos, and so we all kind of come together in an online sense. Just record ourselves, send it to the rest of the crew, record over it, and it's kind of like jamming in the room, but a little bit more delayed.
Is there anything else to add to the end of the interview?
Thanks, Will, for putting in all this work. It's fucking awesome that you're running this channel and you're interviewing local bands that no one's fucking heard of, and making us look way cooler than we are, hopefully. Cheers, Will.
I'm doing it all for my own ego.
What are your projects at the moment, Will? What about you? Like, what's your main drive at the moment in terms of your musical projects and your drumming and stuff?
This is not my time.
Come on.
Anything else you'd like to add apart from just worshipping my feet?
Jesse's mum.
Jesse's mum.
Thanks to Gigi's mum.
Oh, Gigi's mum.
And Paul's mum.
Paul's mum's cool, and I've actually met her. She's really cool.
My mom's on Facebook all the time, so she'll like this.
Cheers to everybody's mum. How's that?
Yeah,
That sounds good.
No, not everybody's. If we include all the mums, none of them are going to feel special.
I guess we should probably wrap it up. So yeah, thanks for the chat, and best luck with the release. Cheers, guys.
Sweet,
Cool.
thanks.
Thanking you.
Cheers, dude.
Cheers.
And thanks for watching.